So we have the two numbers up, the point spreads and the totals, for Championship Sunday matchups. In the first game, the Ravens are either 3 with juice or 3.5, depending on where you're shopping, and the total is around 44.5. The Niners are 7, total is 51. You know those numbers. You may not know the hypothetical Super Bowl matchups that are also available right now at DraftKings. So if chalk holds up this Sunday, DraftKings currently is offering the Niners as a 1.5-point favorite, total of 47.5 against Baltimore. A rematch of the Christmas night massacre.
How about that? Can you believe that? With how Purdy played Saturday and how bad he was in the Monday night massacre?
What were they favored by in that game? Did it get to 6?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and they were run out at home, and he played the worst game of his career. Favored by, do you think the Ravens should be favored?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should they be that big of a flip?
Yes.
I have my doubts.
The game's tomorrow down the street. You're going to take San Francisco?
No, I would not.
You're right.
No.
I'm saying.
I think I like both AFC teams against the 49ers.
So do I.
And they have the Niners 2.5, total of 49 against the Chiefs. I think, again, that would be Purdy against the Chiefs' defense.
We've seen Mahomes have plenty of success against the Niners, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, which I know it's how bad the offense was all year. You know, I'm with Mitch. Okay, well, Miami had a ton of injuries, and the Bills had injuries, and they can't stop anybody anyways. But full marks to Mahomes and what they did. Whole different animal Sunday. You're taking on a nasty defense, and they're going to be ready to go with their first AFC title game since 1971, and it's supposed to rain.
All right, so you'd bet both AFC teams there.
Yeah.
What would you do here if the Lions kind of shock the world, go to San Francisco and win? They'd be catching 3.5, total of 50 against Baltimore.
Baltimore heavy again. Yep. That was 38-6, October 22nd, and it wasn't that close. That was 35-0 at the end of the third quarter.
Oh, I remember.
Lamar threw for 350 and 3 touchdowns. And oh, by the way, I'm getting Mark Andrews back too. So I love Likely. Here comes Andrews, right? More weapons. I mean, this is great for Baltimore. And that if that's the Super Bowl, and I hope that's the Super Bowl, I think the Ravens are going to win going away.
So, a lot of times we'll bring up rematches and say, I don't think the first game really had anything to do with it, like the Tampa-Detroit game, right? Mm-hmm. Clearly, the first game, the way it played out yesterday, had nothing to do with the result in the game, right? Because the Buccaneers and Mayfield threw all over Detroit yesterday, the exact opposite of what happened in the regular season when they only scored 6 points. I think the Lions-Ravens regular season matchup, it can go, 35-6 is a complete blowout. I think the Ravens would have a very nice matchup on their hands in that game.
That's where it's going to be a lot of pressure on Goff. I think they'll get to Goff. They'll turn him over. And I don't think the Lions can't stop anything.
I don't know. Nobody.
So they got.
No, they're
not going to stop Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
That could be a recipe for disaster. Now, this game I think would be pretty intriguing. Lions Chiefs.
Right, the rematch. Another one.
DraftKings right now has KC 3-52. I think the points here, the way that these teams are in current form, this could be something that, because you can run on the Chiefs again. And the Lions are really good at running the football. We should see that coming up on Sunday against San Francisco, because you can also run on the 49ers.
Well, you are right, but then again, it goes back to Ben Olsen and what we've watched here, or Ben Johnson, and what we've watched here for 2 weeks. Everyone is pass happy.
I know.
These coordinators are so focused on getting head coaching jobs that they're trying to showcase and they don't run the ball.
It's exactly what I thought, Paul.
Pass. Come on, knock it off.
That's what, honestly, like that thought entered my head watching the Lions play the Buccaneers this weekend. It also entered my mind, like, is the guy in the middle of an interview right now talking to another team? Because it was just so bizarre what we were watching in that spot. Also, the way that their defense is trending, and now the way that Mahomes and that offense is going for the Chiefs. Are they going to slow down Kansas City at all? I mean, you can just, if Rice is going to be completely healthy, it's going to be Rice, it's going to be Kelsey in the air, and it's going to be, probably maybe MVS has a big game in that spot, because that defense isn't slowing down a high school team right now.
What matchup don't you want to see? Are they all good games? Are you set with any matchup on paper? Do you have any? Is there any possible Super Bowl scenario you don't like?
I kind of don't want to see Ravens-Niners because we just saw it.
I don't want to see Chiefs-Niners.
That's another one, too.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, that one, I'm going back and forth between one of those two teams. So basically, I guess I don't want the Niners in the Super Bowl. But they are awesome. I just think Detroit's going to give you a hell of a game against, unless it's
be a great story. Come
like
on.
the Lions Chiefs would be potentially bonkers, I think.
Right. And how good is the story with the Lions? Can they finally win a Super Bowl? Can they get to the Super Bowl finally? I mean, this would be great.
The dream is dead because the ultimate scenario would have been the Bills
That's
hanging.
right.
So that potential matchup still would have been alive for one more week. A Bills-Lions Super Bowl out here in the city would have burned down, and I would have been here for it.
Oh, yeah. World was coming to an end. No doubt. Bills Mafia, Lions fans, yep, great. It would have been a week and a half. It would run out of beer. It would have been crazy.
Yeah, I do. I mean, the 49ers are very fortunate to be here now in this spot.
Well, I know the odds makers are never going to overreact, and then this is the power rating, and we're not coming off the power rating. But this is with Purdy with the yips here, and now and David tweeted during the commercial break, tweeted at us, well, Shanahan doesn't have confidence in Purdy. Well, that may be true, but also Shanahan cannot be this conservative then. Mm-hmm. And he did it with Garoppolo, and he continues to do it. You can't coach big games like this, okay? Which is weird because the problem when he was in Atlanta as the OC is he was too aggressive throwing the ball when they were up 25.
That cost him the game.
And now here he is. I'm at midfield. I'm good. I'm going to settle for a 50-yard field goal in the elements.
Yeah, see, I'm
going to punt from midfield when I up McCaffrey and a great offensive line.
Right, the way he closed the first half is something that has happened now to him several times, and that is just not a good look. I'm sorry, like that, the short yardage stuff using Hardman for the Chiefs and Andy Reid, get that out of the playbook.
Right.
How is that even an option?
That's right.
You got to draw a line through everything Hardman, reverse, or the inside pitch, whatever related, get it out. So certainly some question marks. I don't know. I think the team right now the team with the fewest question marks has to be Baltimore. Would you not agree?
Total team. Unbelievable team. Special teams, offense, defense, the total package.
And we're saying that about a guy who, again, everybody had their question marks about Lamar Jackson going into the playoffs again this year because he's never gotten the job done before. I would remind people they had more than 500 yards against the Titans in that loss. So, I mean, the offense was clicking in that game.
Yep.
And for the first half, people are like, uh-oh, here we go again. Second half, beautiful adjustments. They came out. They were just a rocket ship, and they destroyed the Texans. So that, to me, is the team where I have no questions. I got some questions about the 49ers. Rush defense.
Yep.
Brock Purdy.
How about secondary?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of that, too.
Yes.
And
take some shots on them deep.
And what Deebo Samuel might mean overall to the team and to the offense if the guy can't play. So they have some question marks. Like, how much are you buying into this current form of the Chiefs, considering who they've played?
I know. All it is everyone just saying, well, it's Mahomes as a dog. It's an autoplay. But, I mean, it's worked out for you in his career because he's done it 8 times straight up, and he's, 9-1-1 ATS now. But
I'm going to find this tweet. It was from David Baker, who's been on this show and on the network plenty of times. He won the Westgate Super Contest and millions a couple years ago, professional poker player. I thought he had a funny tweet about Mahomes last night, and I'll get it for you here in a second. I mean,
keep losing money betting against the Chiefs, I think it was. How many times am I going to continue to lose money betting against the Chiefs?
Yeah, that's what it was right there. I will only lose money against the Chiefs 2 more times this football season, I promise.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yep.
And then the Lions, of course, they certainly, do you think everybody's on board yet trusting Jared Goff in a big game?
Yes.
I mean, do you think?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't think everybody's there yet. I think what you're going to hear this week is what it's going to be like with Goff on the road playing against a pretty good defense.
I'm sold.
But I think
this is a great story. Good for him. This is a great story, what he's done.
I know the public, they're buying in.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, especially here where they cater to, people from that area. I mean, it's called the one casino for a reason. It's after Detroit. Derek Stevens from there. I would think they're just going to get pummeled with Lions money this entire week for this game.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still hanging a 7 right now on the board for the 49ers.
I think it's going to go 6.5. We're going to see 6.5.
Debo can't play. It's not going to be 7.
I know, yeah. What do you think? I thought it was a concussion. Then it's the shoulder again.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too right away.
And Kirk Menefee at halftime. Well, we'll see if he plays. Strahan's like, come on. His shoulder, he's got his pads off. He's not playing.
Yeah, everything was off at the point.
He's out of the game. You know what that means. Come on, Menefee.
So what's the best possible matchup then? If we went over some worst games, the games that we don't want to see.
Well, Lions-Ravens has a chance to get out of control, I think.
Yeah.
But I think from a high-scoring fan standpoint, Lions-Chiefs would be the most entertaining Super Bowl.
I think if we get 49ers-Ravens, it reminds me a little bit of a couple of years ago when Alabama played Georgia. Remember, Georgia was I think 7 in the SEC title game, and they were a machine that year, and Alabama killed them. And then we got a rematch in the playoff, the championship game, and it's how far do you adjust the number? And I think Georgia came down to a 3-point favorite from 7 when they just played, and Georgia ran them out in the second half and won by 15 points. That is maybe a little bit similar here. Now, I don't know if it's going to play out like that if we get 49ers and Ravens. I'm just saying.
There's still a lot of pressure on Purdy. What if they lose and he doesn't play well Sunday?
Right.
Is he even the quarterback next year? I mean, the tweets are right. Shanahan doesn't trust him, and he calls plays like that. But
I would say yes, he's on a rookie contract. Did they maybe draft another guy?
He's still good, but the luck factor has been it's been nuts the last 2 years. The drop pick sixes and interceptions, alarming.